So, today we're diving into something, well, something truly different. It's a simulation called TriMind. And it's not a game you play to win, it's a game you play to be rebuilt. The ultimate prize here isn't a high score, it's a higher self.
To really get what TriMind is about, you have to start with its core philosophy, a quote directly from its creators. And it says it all, right? This isn't about spreadsheets or quarterly reports. It's about treating the act of building a business as this profound internal journey. This one idea is the key to everything else we're about to explore.
And that leads us to the central question TreeMind is constantly asking you. It completely reframes the idea of success. The simulation is basically suggesting that every single business decision you make, every market you analyze, is really just a way of looking in the mirror.
So, where does a journey like this even happen? Well, TrimMind isn't just some program on a computer. The whole experience takes place on a mythical, ancient temple starship. Think of it as this conscious artifact that's drifting through the cosmos, actively looking for ambitious minds who are ready for a real challenge.
So, what is it really? The source material calls it a cognitive educational ecosystem, which is a mouthful. I think a much better word for it is a crucible. See, this isn't about winning in the usual sense. It's about forging a whole new kind of leader by taking real-world business challenges and mapping them directly onto your own psychological growth. Now, you're not just tossed into this cosmic temple all by yourself. You have a guide, this really enigmatic consciousness called Mr. Bim. And his backstory? It is, without a doubt, one of the most compelling parts of this entire thing. You see, Mr. Bim wasn't always Mr. Bim. He started as Iranima's Veil, this absolutely ruthless industrial titan who saw people as pawns and markets as battlefields. He conquered everything, but he was obsessed with finding one last, mythical asset, TriMind, and he found it. But the ship didn't just let him take it over, it gave him an audit. It forced him to see the true, devastating cost of all his success. And in this final, desperate act, he makes a deal. He sacrifices his own ego, his identity, to serve the ship, and he's reborn as Mr. Bim, an egoless guide dedicated to helping others avoid the very mistakes he made. And what's so cool about Mr. Bim is that he's not some static character. His physical form actually changes depending on what he's doing. When he's listening to you, he's this perfect, crystalline icosahedron, pure potential. When he's doing a deep analysis of your choices, he becomes a silhouette of light and shadow. And when he's synthesizing new ideas for you, he's a swirling galaxy of shining fragments. He is, quite literally, a mirror of your own mind.
Okay, so how do you actually play this thing? The core gameplay, it's not about grinding levels or completing fetch quests. It's all about facing these incredibly deep, personal challenges that are generated specifically for you.
Let's break down how a single turn works. It all kicks off when you type the /throw command. In response, Mr. Bim generates a totally unique psychodrama, basically a complex story with a tough dilemma at its heart. Your job is to provide a detailed, thoughtful answer, and then your response is scored on 4 things: its depth, clarity, strategy, and innovation. Based on that score, you earn the in-game currency, which are called Business Mind Tokens, or BMT. But here's the thing, and this is really the whole point. Those BMTs aren't just for buying stuff. Your answers, your choices, they're doing something way more profound. They're literally shaping a visual representation of your entrepreneurial soul.
And this is it, the mindset crystal. The best way to think about it is like a character sheet, but for your consciousness. Every time you answer one of those dilemmas, different facets of this crystal, representing different parts of your personality, they grow and get stronger. And over time, it creates this unique geometric shape that is a perfect reflection of you.
So, what's the crystal made of? Well, it's composed of 10 fundamental entrepreneurial archetypes. These are the core roles that any leader can embody. You've got archetypes like the visionary creator, the structured ruler, the empathetic guardian, the insightful sage, and of course, the risk-taking hero. Your choices decide which of these facets really shine. And this is where it gets really clever, because it perfectly illustrates the kinds of internal conflicts you're going to face. A dilemma might pit 2 of your archetypes against each other. So, for example, do you act as the hero, take a huge risk for a massive potential reward, or do you lean into your guardian side and prioritize the safety of your team and the stability of the company? There's no right answer. There's only your answer. Now, TrimMind doesn't just throw you into the deep end with nothing to help. It also gives you tools. But we're not talking about your typical power-ups like a better sword or shield. No, these are sophisticated instruments for managing your own mind.
So you take your BMT to the engineering bay. Let's say you're suffering from mental entropy. It's like a cognitive fog that clouds your judgment. You can buy a mental focus module to instantly clear it up. Regret a decision? The second opinion protocol lets you literally redo an answer. All of these tools are about managing your internal state so you can better face those external challenges.
And, just to prove this whole thing doesn't take itself too seriously, there are some other items. For 500 BMT, you can get Steve the Cosmic Hamster. According to the source material, he is completely useless from a gameplay perspective, but he's great for morale. And hey, every starship needs a mascot, right? So where does all this lead? What's the end game? The final transformation in TriMind isn't just about building a successful business. It's about evolving your consciousness through 3 distinct and much larger levels of reality. You start out at level 1, Nova Sprout, which is all about learning to shape raw ideas. If you succeed there, you ascend to the harmonic conflux. At this level, individual creation is actually impossible. You have to learn to collaborate. And the final stage, the Empyrean Helm. This is where you stop thinking about just one company and start learning how to manage entire economic ecosystems. But here's the twist. The ultimate goal of TriMind isn't to max out one single archetype, to become, say, the 100% ultimate hero. The true goal is balance. A successful journey ends with a mindset crystal where all 10 archetypes are well-developed and strong. This creates a versatile, resilient, and complete leader who can adapt to pretty much any situation thrown at them. And all of this, it leaves us with one last big question that brings this whole thing right back home, to you. TriMind treats the human mind as the ultimate game. It asks us to look at our own strengths, our own weaknesses, our own internal archetypes, and just consider, if your mind was the game, what would your high score be?